Marbles were originally made by hand. Marbles are made using many techniques. They can be categorized into two general types, handmade and machine-made. Stone or ivory marbles can be fashioned by grinding. Clay, pottery, ceramic or porcelain marbles can be made by rolling material into a bowl and then letting it dry, or by firing it and then it can be left natural painting or glassing. Marbles were made out of wood before, but today they are made of glass because glass is inexpensive and durable. To start with, recycled glass and marbles that have already been developed but are not the right size are melted. This is made in an oven to 12.4 degrees centigrade for 16 hours. Then a door opens at the bottom of the oven, letting the molten glass. When fallen, a short sky flows every half second, forming the segments that will become marbles of different sizes. The Skya programs to cut the flow in shorter or longer periods. These segments fall hoppers to rotating rollers with grooves to prevent sticking glass fragments, needing 72 hours to cool. First. However, the appearance of the ball is already defined, as in the oven the mixture of air and glass make color mixing. After, the rollers pass through to a channel that separates the marbles bag, larger or smaller. The good is first melted. One mechanical technique is dropping globes of molten glass into a globe made by two interlocking parallel screws. As the screws rotate, the marble travels along them, gradually being shaped into a sphere as it cools. Color is added to the main batch glass and or to additional glass streams that are combined with the main stream in a variety of ways. For example, in the cat's eye style, colored glass veins are injected into a transparent main stream. Applying more expensive colored glass to the surface of cheaper transparent or white glass is also common technique. Clay marbles, also known as rock marbles, are made of slightly porous clay, traditionally from local clay of leftover earthenware, rolled into balls, then glassed and fired at low heat, creating an opaque imperfect sphere that is frequently sold as the poor Byzantine marbles. Glass marbles can be fashioned through the production of glass rods which are stacked together to form the desired pattern, cutting the rod into barber-sized pieces using marble scissors and rounding the steel malleable glass. That's the sort how it's made marbles.
Hello Thomas, might you explain me how to play marbles game?
Of course, why not? But do you know anything of how to play it?
Something, such that multiple people can play using different marbles. There are different ways of playing.
Sure, and the first player starts by throwing all his marbles, one by one in direction of the hole. Then throws the marbles the second player. When finished with throwing all marbles, players continue the game by shooting marbles in direction of the hole. The player with more marbles in the hole takes the first turn to shoot. Players shoot only their own marbles and they alternate in the game after each shoot.
Then the player who puts all his marbles in the hole first becomes the winner of the game?
Yeah, the winner of the match is the player who has won a given number of games.
Okay, come on to play.
Sure, but you must know some rules. For example, the player who is throwing the marbles first has to stand with his feet behind the throwing line, throws all of his marbles and tries to throw them into the hole.
What happens if a marble is dropped by mistake in front of the throwing line?
The player is allowed to pick it up and throw it again. In case both players have the same number of marbles in the hole, the player who has his marble closer to the hole takes first turns to shoot. If the closest marbles of both players are in the same distance from the hole, then it is decided by the second closest marble. Players have the right to ask a referee to measure the distance and his ruling. The distance is measured of the nearest hole border to the nearest part of the marble. The player who puts all his marbles in the hole first and at least one opponent's marble remains outside the hole becomes the winner of the game. In case that both players have all their marbles in the hole, the result of this game is a draw and the game is played again. The score remains the same as before this game. The winner of the match is the player who has one given number of games. The player who lost the game is not allowed to collect his marble from the ground until the winner confirms that all his marbles are in the hole. Well, Jan, I now believe it's time to play, so I'll show you some games with marbles. What do you think?
I think it's perfect. What is the first game you are going to teach me?
The first game with the marbles is the hole, in which fits with one line the limited start. The idea is that the marble falls into the hole and wins its success. That why not lose your marbles, and if none does it, there is a tie. What do you think?
Fine, let's begin.
How about something different now is we play with marbles?
Yeah, you know what other game with the marbles?
We can play the circle. It is very easy. First, make a circle in the center, each put an equal number of marbles. Then withdraw a certain distance and throw a marble trying to hit it and make those within the circle. Those who plunder us are the winners, with the one who gets more marbles. What do you think?
Oh, seems so much fun. We play.